So what are the essentials of a online business manager contract? The number one thing that it would be is the parties to the contract. Who are the people that are actually becoming contractually obligated? Is it the company? Is it the client? Who's doing that? So you want to make sure that you're giving the right name for the parties to the contract. Number two, what's really important also is the duration of the contract. How long is this contract going to be? Is it going to be all for the next 3 years? Is it going to be only for 6 months? Have that conversation, because sometimes they want to do a test drive. And so the test drive could be just 3 months, but then they want to do another contract to extend that time, or they can add an addendum or an amendment to the existing contract to extend that time. So the time frame is really important to know how long the duration of this contract term is. How long does this contract apply, right? Simple as that. Number three, the thing that you need to have are the terms and conditions, meaning what are the services that you as an OBM are providing? What kind of things are you working on? Are you just doing high level, connecting the dots? You're being an operation manager, or are you going to kind of get into the nitty gritty also? And you're going to help them with certain aspects of their business, like helping create content, or being the person that is ultimately going to be deciding some of the actions or inactions of the company. And so those things need to be written out in the scope of work or in the terms and conditions of the contract that you are signing. Now, another essential clause that could be there for the OBM contracts is as well confidentiality. You want to make sure that that confidentiality clause is there, that you're not sharing proprietary information of your client, because a lot of times you're getting access to clients' employees, you're getting access to the type of contracts that they have, you're getting access to their intellectual property, you're getting access to their trade secrets, you're getting access to their methodologies of doing stuff, you're getting access to their customers and their client base and their contacts. And so a lot of those are proprietary information. So the confidentiality clause needs to be there, and it also needs to be followed, because if you want to be a trustworthy OBM, especially if you're not only working for one person, but you're working for multiple companies, then that's something that needs to be absolutely there so that the other side can know that you really do consider confidentiality to be important and that you are going to be protecting the information of the company. And that kind of leads me to another clause. It's called conflict of interest. I personally would have that in a contract with an OBM, is that there's no conflict of interest between me and another one of their clients. So that way there's also no, sense of where they're getting tempted to, by mistake even, or there's temptation out there to share information that they shouldn't be sharing, or to, do something for another client that's benefiting them unknowingly but subconsciously because they have access to my information. And so that can be a really sticky situation, and it can be really heartbreaking also for the people that you're working for. So always keep that in mind while you're working, but then you might want to have that in a contract as well. Another thing that you want to have in your contract is, again, about intellectual property. Who owns it? Or if there's a license, then who owns it and who's giving who the license? It's very important to have those things written out, because as an OBM, you might be creating some things for the company. You might be working and doing things for the company, but if you're hired as a contractor, then a lot of those things may be yours, because by default, contractors, what they create intellectual property wise is theirs. It's not the company's, unless there is a specific clause out there called made for hire and then assignment of rights, which then leads me to, what is your position in the company? Yes, you're an online business manager. Are you an independent contractor? Are you an employee? That really varies state to state also. If you are in the weeds of the company and you are really in it to win it, and you're really integrated with a lot of power, with a lot of authority, and your scope of work is pretty large, maybe identifying you or classifying you as an independent contractor may be a misclassification. So we need to make sure that you're being classified correctly. That way you or the company won't be facing any type of penalties later on. Another important clause is the termination clause. How will you exit if you want to exit prematurely? What gives you the right to say, I'm done, I need to get out, I'm not liking this vibe in here or this energy, I just don't like the culture, whatever it might be. Is there an exit strategy? What is that exit strategy? And does it work with you? And does it align with the way you're running your business also? And of course, the boilerplate clauses, that are there. You kind of need to have them. They're really helpful to your contract. And so those are things that you absolutely need to have as well.